who you are.
Yeah, well, hello, everyone. We snuck up on everybody. My apologies. That was me, moi. Uh, but welcome, favor to everyone. Nothing missing, nothing broken in your life. Namaste to everyone. Peace and favor. Welcome, moderators. Thank you for the job that you're doing, and thank the rest of y'all for adding to the journey. This is a second look, and you know who I am, and that is Miss Trina Phoenix.
Hi.
How are you doing, my dear?
I'm wonderful. So glad to be here with everybody. And you.
Well, we are glad that you're here. And, you know, folks, go get over there and subscribe to Trina's channel. She's 150 away, I think, at the last count. So let's get her there because we like to see her go live more often. So
Yeah.
that's, I tell you, we need this. We really do.
I think, yeah, this community is really becoming something powerful and beautiful.
I hear that from guests who come on. I even get emails from people who just stop in and they say, you know, there's a different vibe in this chat room. And I said, yeah.
And like I've always known it, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And boy, the
Yes.
quality, we are the creme de la creme, they tell me. They say, guys are the creme de la creme.
I like ganaches, chocolate ganache, and that's that's all I got to say, folks. You salivate at that.
I get it. Oh, that's so funny. And I'm a caramel whipped cream girl. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See how
Yeah.
all of us with our differences, it's like your idea of heaven and my idea of heaven are a little different, but yet the same.
It's still, it really is. And I enjoy cooking, but baking is an alchemy into itself.
That's my daughter. She loves to bake. She's a natural baker. It's my sister too. And then my mom, she's more of the cooker, the meal prepper, but bakers. But oh man, my mom knows how to make some mean fudge. Man,
that makes me salivate. We watched those kids baking championship, and I mean, these children are remarkable. What they've come into this life with, and you watch this, and you're going, yeah, I've been in a past life,
Oh yeah.
They had to have been.
Oh yeah.
Well along the path is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's crazy too, because I think about that sometimes, and then I think about how things aren't the same as they used to be. Like things used to be so much stronger back then, like the barley, it had so much more nutrition. All these things were different. So if they're trying to recreate from recipes they knew before, it probably isn't tasty the same. And they're like, what's wrong?
There was one particular, I think he was 11, no, maybe 10. The child was a master. Even the two people that judged the thing, the one guy said, there's something special about him because he invented something right there in the middle of the competition.
Yep.
Well, if that isn't alchemy and true magic, I don't know what is.
Yeah, and some of these kids, especially too, when they're young, they still have memory of what they were before.
Yeah.
Certain things in these other lifetimes. And when you can grasp a hold of those gifts and talents when you're a kid, boy, that's when you're going to see magic right there.
I struggle with the whole idea of the recycle center. It sucks. I mean,
totally.
And I keep saying to myself, well, if this is the way it's supposed to be, that we're supposed to, get over there, that we examine what our life was, we try to determine what it is we need to improve on, and we go and we meet with our tribe and we learn, and then we get ready to come back into another incarnation, and supposedly we're going to be able to do better. But I don't know. I think something is wrong in the works because
I do too.
There's a lot of failures. And what I mean by that, and it's a sad story, is I recently read an 8-year-old committed suicide.
Yep. You mean it means the archonic energies are getting stronger? Yeah.
We all know in this community that to be that spatial aware, that the whole construct of taken energy is it's wow. And I just heard the weirdest buzz. I guess they don't like us talking about this.
I heard it too. I wonder if that
Did you hear that? Yeah.
Or I don't know. I heard it too. It was like, brow, brow. I heard it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's me. I think I got everything off.
I know. I said it was take us to your master, but anyway, take me to your pilot, take me to the phone. John.
You should share your little lucid dream thing if you want to, because that's beautiful. And I think that's what's going on. And I think once you can see that membrane and you're really looking for yourself, I don't think that you're in the reincarnation trap anymore. I think you're out. You're totally out of it.
It's like going to,
and you're not going to get sucked right back into the light. Because you have an awareness of these things. You're going to be like, hey, hold the phone. That's all I think it takes. And when I came to that gnosis, that was profound, because then on the other aspect, it's like, okay, this is all I remember or know is this universe, this construct. It's like, wow, what's it going to be like to get back out of it? It's going to be interesting.
I think it's going to be beyond what any of us have been told or, thought about. I look at it, this is the metaphor I use for myself, because this is what it is. It's about self. Each of us is about self. I'm like sitting down at a poker game, and instead of coming in with, virtually no experience in understanding psychology, body language, human emotions, etc., because if you know how to use all those things, you can actually turn the game to your advantage. So, yeah.
Yep.
I guess exactly. And so we're talking about lucid dreaming. Little background, while we were a little late, I had last night, I went to bed about 11 o'clock, and it's like when my head hit the pillow, I began on a single thought, and I have been really moved by this out-of-body experience, this OBE that I experienced on Sunday, and it's profound. It
change you forever.
Yeah, man.
It change you forever. Ever.
That's what we're talking, sister. I mean, it rearranges,
Because can't come apart.
It's like, shoot, man. So I'm laying there, and the next thing I am back where I ended the out-of-body experience on Sunday, and it was profound. I got into a very deep sleep, and then about 1:30, I get up, and Lynn's saying, "Oh no, not again." So I came downstairs in the office and started writing, and went back to sleep. And I don't quite remember writing all of this, so it sounded lucid when I read it, right? When I was reading it to you,
I was like, I have seen that.
Okay, so
I have been through that, where I have seen me on a timeline and all the different me's still existing. It was crazy. It was so hard.
It is crazy. Well,
yeah, it was like, when you have these visions for yourself, it changes you.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I got an email from our good friend, Consciously Aware, and I may be wrong on that, but anyway, so here we go. 1/27/2020, when I went and this happened, was about 11 p.m. Sometime after that, I was laying down to sleep. I began to be drawn into my thought on the recent OBE of Sunday. I begin to fall within myself. And it's an interesting experience. I know it now. I'm very comfortable.
Yeah, and isn't that a weird feeling when you
It
fall
is.
into yourself? It almost is like you're falling.
You are, literally.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like I said, when you read this way, and I was like, I've experienced this, and it's so beautiful because we're all going to do this a little different, but you'll have resonance.
Yes, yes.
And it might be a little bit different, but it's going to have a resonance.
It's that chocolate.
Yeah.
I was reliving the event again. I found myself in this place. There is no time or space, no sense of being of physical matter. I am in a place where I can see the membrane to another plane. And as I'm reading this, I'm seeing it right in my mind right now.
Yep.
I am not alone. There is a presence. It is everywhere, but nowhere. I can hear the voice. It knows I'm in my bedroom lying down and not awake, but not asleep. I know I am in a state of lucidness of consciousness. We are talking. The voice is asking me questions, such as, am I aware of what is happening? I respond, yes. I know I'm back at the end point of my vision. The voice says, good. Then I see myself as I am now in my physical form. I see all of me, the beautiful, the ugly, the saint, the sinner, the truth, the lie. I see me. Then the voice says, are you ready to give it life? I am in thought, but yet there is substance everywhere. There is darkness, but there is light here in my consciousness. I am seeing before what the voice is meaning. There are so many of me. I see all of me there has ever been. I'm old, I'm new, I'm strong, I'm weak. I see all of the me's there has ever been. I'm whisked away in a flow of a thought. I am before a different substance. I hear the voice ask, you have sought to know who you are. You seek to know where you came into being. Now you see your answer. I am vibrating at an intensity. I know what the meaning of being is. I get it. I am. There is nothing but am. Even as I write this, I'm overwhelmed. I am back to where I was. I know where this is. It is a place between planes of existence. The voice is telling me things about space, the construct of time, and how before I can proceed, I must decide about me. I do not know how I know this, but I know I'm about to give birth to myself. I give life to me. All those traits that have come into being because of that which I experienced in the lives of my past. I hear that again. It is odd how we acquire lives. From the moment we are blended into physical matter, we take form of substance. We carry many different lives within us. I am giving those lives life. They are part of me, but they are no longer of me. I sense an outflow of energy. It is joyous. I see the other me going back from where I just came from. I hear the voice saying that I am here and I am back in my home. I know this, for I sense being in two places at the same time. I turn to look at that which is before me. It is beyond words. I push my thought to the membrane. I can sense it. There is so much flooding my thought. The voice speaks to me and tells me that I am already here. There is an explosion of revelation hitting me. I see. I see. I see. I am in multiple places at the same time. I am already dead as I'm already alive. I am being. I am already at that place between planes of existence. Even now, I am there, but yet I know I am here in this place of existence. The voice is speaking to me, telling me other things about time and space, being, consciousness of being. I am in a state of thanksgiving. The part of me that was given life has absorbed most of my memories. It is a gift. It is required before I can blend into the new plane of existence. I can still sense the sensation of touching the membrane. I am back in my physical body and I am buzzing. I understand I am here at this place in time, but I'm already in the future as I'm in the past. I'm already dead. I am at the place in between planes of existence. I am waiting on myself to finish what I'm here for. I have seen myself.
That is so profound.
There you go.
Profound.
I
I think that's the whole mission, is to know thyself, find thyself.
Yeah.
It's always about go within. We've been so taught to go out, and that is the trap.
Yeah.
And the key is to know who you are and to seek and say, I want to know who I am. I want to know more about myself. I want to know about my beginnings. Those questions are keys to freedom.
So I was talking to the voice. I don't know what this voice is.
You know what I was hearing?
What was that?
Craziest thing. I think you literally connected to like an angelic part of yourself, which is like the four-faced God, which has the eyeballs all over it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was seeing in my head, was like seraphim. I literally was seeing that you were connecting to the part of you that has those million eyes.
It's interesting.
It has an awareness of all the fractals of you, of all of it. It has an awareness. That's why I can see you. And you know what else I kept hearing? IT, internal technology.
Interesting.
It knows, it is, it knows, it hears, it sees, it knows all of me. IT, internal technology.
Hey, it's an experience.
Yeah.
So this voice explained to me, and each of us, you find your own answers.
Yeah.
There is a subtleness to what was expressed, but I understand what being is.
Yeah.
And
trying to define it, right?
Yeah, I was trying to tell Lynn. She told me, she said, she says, you are places where, she says, most people don't go. But I was trying to tell her, I said, honey, you don't understand.
Mhm.
I said,
Yeah.
we try to seek a beginning. We don't understand being is.
Yes, it's the is connected to the it.
It just, I'm frustrated inside because I'm laughing because I knew this was going to happen. It's something you just, I don't know.
You can't define it. It's so hard to
It's
put
like
into words. It's like it's so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just like, whoa, there's no words for these things. They're so profound, and like 1 second is a whole Smithsonian full of wisdom. It's insanity. It's so much for the brain.
It doesn't, and it does not taste like chicken, so that means it's not this homogenized thing that you get in a book, now you're going, okay, no, I mean, this is it is profound, is only thing I can say.
That awareness of myself was when I came into that serpent wisdom, and I had that serpent dream about cutting myself out of the serpent.
Oh yeah.
That was when I got a lot of that, was and then when I had the vision of the astral, when God popped the world and then it disappeared and then he brought it back and it was all sparkly and shiny. That was when I got to feel that I was a part of everything. And that was an overload. Like I said, there's just no words for the way that felt, except for overwhelming. And these connections that we truly have in these states of mind.
Yeah.
Get astral travel, OBEs, whatever, however you get there. When you activate the inner eye and you get into the visions of the higher dimensions, they change you.
That is the thing that, and if you've ever experienced lucid dreaming, you'll know what I'm saying. You're conscious in two different planes at the same time.
Yes.
You really are.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes I've been almost to where I'm at 3.
oh, that's interesting.
It is very interesting.
Yeah.
That's really getting deep. It spins me out, man. Just
Yeah.
spins me out. It's so hard to process, but there's like the observer, the knower, and the experiencer. That's the best way I can put it into words.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's the best way I can put it into language at this point. So I'm working on that, but it's part of this trinity that we are. And I think it's part of the is, the it, and the I.
Yeah.
I don't know.
When I was there, I know this place. I mean, I see it even as I'm talking. It's so vivid. I remember turning around because whatever in front of me, I can tell you it's physical. It's of a different substance than I've ever seen. I don't know how to explain it. And when I say that I touched it, I literally touched it with my thoughts.
Yes. Yes.
What the freak was, I mean, it was like, it literally, what I said to myself was, this is far out. That's what I said.
That's what I mean. The energy part of us is so beautiful and we're so wrapped into our physical anatomy construct. But think about it. When we reach to touch something, we're doing all this with our mind and we're using the avatar as the processor.
Yeah.
But when we get out of the body, we are a full processor. And the eyes now don't come directly from the face. You can actually 360 the view.
It's weird. Yeah. I mean,
so you are bound in an avatar to use your senses this way. But once you're out of the body, whoo, game on.
When I saw myself, that was a weird experience. It really is, because when I remember the sense of turning around in my mind, because I knew I didn't have a body. I know that. I know that. But yet I do. Anyway.
It's weird. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, it is weird.
You feel yourself, but you know you're not in a body anymore.
Yeah,
but you feel yourself. It's really strange. Yeah.
When I went to touch that membrane, the thought hit me as I was doing this, and this is what set me back, was that I was touching it with my mind. It was as real as though I had hands. And I think, but when I looked back at myself, it was the most interesting thing, because it suddenly turned into this promenade. There were trees lining, and I saw myself from babies to old man. And it was very interesting because each one has, get ready for this, a life. It's the strangest thing to try to put to it, but it was as if the me's were waiting for me to release them.
Yes.
And when I did, they coalesced into one thing, and it went back to where this plane is.
Yep.
Now that's freaking weird.
That's the collecting of the fractals that I saw. Collecting themselves.
Yeah.
Remembering and collecting and gathering all the parts of yourself into one. I've seen this too. See, we're seeing the same thing in different ways, but so similar.
Mm-hmm.
Profound. And that's confirmation for me.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
It helps me to put together my visions, because I think a lot of these things that we're seeing are relatively new for us. So some of these things are really hard to put into words, but even with the words that we have to share similar experiences with one another, it helps us to, first of all, it gives validation that what we're seeing has validity to it.
Thank you. It's like, well, at least
It's like when you were reading that, I was like, wait, I've been there. I've seen different selves. I've seen this. I've literally seen this. And then one time I had an experience where I went on a cruise, and they had a contest, and I don't even know how I won. But anyways, they crowned the winner. Okay, so it was this big crowning ceremony, and I was Queen La Palma. Well, I don't know what this was doing to me, but I was so nervous, and I don't like the whole, like I said, this YouTube thing is not my gig. I don't like to do the whole on the stage. It's not my gig, you know? So I'm up there and I'm like going, oh God, I'm really nervous about this. And I'm like, it's kind of normal for me because I don't like to do this stuff. But I was like, I'm really nervous about this. And I don't even know why. And I didn't know I'd won. So when they said I won, I went up on the stage. And when they pulled me up there, they put a robe, a royal robe on me. And they put the crown on my head and they put the scepter in my hand. And when they did that, my knees buckled and I almost passed out. And I got a download of being crowned in a past life. And it was the most horrible, terrifying experience because I was literally just sold to a king.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Horrible.
All
And
right.
the
Yeah.
trauma that went through my body almost dropped me. It was the
Yeah.
weirdest thing ever. So like these things can happen at the weirdest times.
You know, and someone wrote an email to you and I today and asked, and in fact, she said, all right, she says, you know, I watched that Farsight Institute and what they were seeing in remote viewing. And she says, I'm pissed. She
Yeah.
says, I've had enough. I'm not going. Let me just digress a second. I just saw Eric Green. He said, I was born again. Very interesting. I didn't write this down, but it was part of that exchange.
Yes.
That's exactly what the voice said would take place. The voice, and I laughed and I said, truly, and this is what I was talking about, you know, I mean, you know, you're talking. Yes. I said, truly, this cannot be based on an earth construct. And the voice said, there is a process of being born yet again that man has not imagined.
That's what I know we came here to do. And you just found the gate. It's the self and you found it and you are on your way and we're going to do this.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it carries over to the knowledge we're acquiring. How do you confront something now going over where others don't even have this knowledge? So they're kind of just doing the zombie march, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's us.
Oh yeah. They don't know what to do with us.
I mean, and that's what my out of body experience, that is exactly when they were telling me, when I was being shown the gate, literally, they said, you can never come back.
Nope.
And it, nope. Oh man, excuse me. That resonates. Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Remember, like, this is all I've known is this universe for thousands and thousands of probably really, really long time.
Long time, yeah.
I'm like, oh, that is kind of scary. But see, then again, anytime I get fear, I look at it, is this real? And my gut and my heart says, no, dive. Trust. You will go home. Trust yourself. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're diving. We're going. We're going to do this.
We are going to do this. And this is what I did, folks. I literally was
do something new, Wayne.
I was singing to myself, Lou Reed, Take a Walk on the Wild Side.
Yeah.
And that's what I was hearing. And I said, okay, you know, let's go. You know, I knew I couldn't come back. That garment that it becomes a part of us. I mean, it is, yeah, it at one point I was just like this big.
Wayne, when I had that dream about cutting myself out of the serpent, that's what I was doing in my mind before I had that vision. When I realized I was worshiping false gods and that I was potentially a hologram and I was kind of like a golem, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when I started realizing all that stuff and that Yaldabaoth was the god of this world and that's a freaking feathered dragon, I was like, oh crap, we're in Dragonland. And, you know, I was like starting to figure out where I was. And when I figured out where I was and that I was potentially worshiping false idols and doing all that, because, oh my God, I was like, I will get out of this place right now if this is a trap. And I'm like, I will drop this avatar. I was like, I will throw that sucker on the ground and stomp on it. And they knew I was serious. They're like, whoa, hold the phone. And then that night I had that vision of cutting myself from the serpent, because I came to that realization and I figured out
Ooh.
I'm bigger than my body, and I'm bigger than this world. I'm bigger than this religion, and that I'm eternal, and death is not a part of what I am. And I'm ready to leave this place. And boy, did they know. They knew. Like, they knew.
That was the other profoundness, and that's why I wrote this down, because these will be in my memoirs. That when the voice said, "You comprehend what death is now,"
Yep.
and I remember saying to the voice, "Death is no different than living."
Nope. Just transition.
It's
One
just
suit to
it's
the
just
next.
one. It is. It's literally. So you know what? Immediately I saw. Now, this is dating myself. As a kid, we lived next door to some railroad tracks. And if people can remember, about, 55 plus years ago, the power lines would always go along the railroad tracks. And they had those beautiful blue glass. They covered the transistors on each one of the poles. Well, we as kids used to throw rocks at them.
Mm-hmm.
But immediately I was back living that. And then I remember looking at how that transducer, it merely carries the current.
Yes.
It either steps it down or steps it up.
Yep.
And I got it, because that's what death is.
Yep.
It's either a step up or it's a step
Vibration.
down.
Yeah, and I think when you come into flesh, it's a step down, because
I
this
think
is
it
a
is.
very dense body. It's a very dense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're way more charged as soon as we get up. And I'm pretty sure, I keep looking at this, and the fourth dimension, I'm pretty sure the fourth dimension is our dream world. It is the astral realm. And I'm pretty sure the next solid, actual place where you can have form and hold constructive form is fifth dimension. So I'm aiming for 7 or above, though.
It's very interesting. I learned a lesson, and I didn't write it all down, but there's a place that it's this transition zone.
Yes.
It exists on every plane.
And I think that's the in between of every
Yeah.
dimensions. There's a capturing place, a holding place. If you can get through the membrane, and that's about vibration, Wayne. You
I
can't
think it
get
is.
through. You can't get through unless you have the right vibration. And that's about consciousness and knowledge and gnosis and knowing yourself. And I'm telling you, I think that's the only way you can get out, is to have that know thyself desire and to act upon it and actively seek, and go through breaking the God spell and all this profound work you've done. That's why you could touch that membrane, because I don't think, if you've done the work, I think if you touch that membrane, it's going to zap your ass right back like a wall.
The thing that
I see.
Yeah. When I'm there, when all of me is there, and it's a complicated thing. We exist in. We don't realize this, but every human's life is, as you said, and in the term is very accurate here, fractals.
Yeah.
Each day we live a different life.
Yes. And it's so hard to understand that.
It is.
It's so big of a concept. Yeah, it's so hard to wrap these things in your mind when you get them. It's like hard to share all the information that you received in just that small window of time. And it changes your life for the rest of your
It's
life.
profound.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of TM work back in the early 70s, and a lot of that was aided chemically. And there was experiences that we were out on different planes, but this is different. There is.
Yeah. I told you, I've done the drug trips.
Yeah. The DMTs.
The real trips, and the real trips have always been so much more profound.
Yeah, this one.
Level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think one is more, I think that the chemical ones might be more connected to the matrix, and
I
then
think
the DMT natural pineal gland releases that we have are more connected to the organic matrix, because I think there's two.
Lynn tells me that when I have these episodes, so what she calls them, um, that I am in a very deep, deep sleep afterwards. Now, I only need about 4.5, 5 hours of sleep, but in these incidences, she said she can't wake me up.
Yeah.
That's how deep the sleep is.
Yeah, because I think it takes so much energy
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
raise your vibration to go to those levels and get the information from those vibrations. Literally, these are about frequencies, vibrations. Can you perceive them?
Yeah, yeah. And I want to share this, folks, to show you how real this is. You can go and download this document yourself. This is one of our intrepid industrial military machines, the Project Stargate. Check it out. It's out there, but the CIA and intelligence agencies all over the world, they're serious about this. They know that remote viewing is real,
Oh, yeah.
which tells us that then time is not this linear flat plane, it is fluid. That's what I learned. When I suddenly realized, Trina, I've already died.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's it's in that deep, deep part that you suddenly go, oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
whoopee,
It's like,
you're
okay,
not even
yeah,
bothered by it no
yeah,
more. I know it's
yeah.
terrible. And now when you go to funerals, Wayne, it's a real bad deal because you just really don't get sad anymore. And
No,
people look
no.
at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, I now I feel the pain of the people around me, and I can get emotional because I see their suffering. But the person that just passed away, just like my grandmother, it's like I know she's not dead. She's just in a different dimension.
Yeah. And that's what we all know about, I guess, Kobe Bryant on that. And now
Yeah.
the story is that, they flew right in the side of that hill at 185 miles an hour.
Whoa.
They literally did not have time to what we would call, in the transition period. They were pushed.
Yeah.
And there's a whole story behind what happens to spirits that are pushed like that. Anyway, here are some terms. I like this. Psychoenergetics. Uh, this is the mental process by which an individual perceives, communicates with, and/or perturbs characteristics of a designated target, person, or event remote in space and/or time from that individual.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can time travel.
Yep.
I love you, Trina. That's so good. Yep. It's just
Yep.
a fact,
It
folks.
is. They've been doing this stuff for 50 years. They have this stuff down to a fine-tuned machine.
I mean, I read something, the tech companies, the top tech companies, they have individuals that do remote viewing.
Absolutely. They have for years.
They do it to spy on other companies.
It's crazy too, because you literally can do
You
this.
can
I
do
mean,
this.
I literally know people who have done this, and I know people in military that go and they remote things, they view things, and they
Yep.
literally they can see right over people's shoulders and read the documents and everything. It's crazy.
Tells you something.
Yeah, this is the biggest kind of spying ever.
And it tells me the diversity of the human spirit. And here it is, remote viewing. That's the acquisition, description by mental means of information blocked from ordinary perception by distance, shield, or time. A
Yep.
remote viewer is a person who perceives, communicates with, and/or perturbs characteristics of a designated target, person, or event.
Mhm.
Anyway, This is just, it's a wild document. You folks ought to read it sometimes. We may even cover it.
Remote viewing it's so powerful, and this is a natural innate ability to humans.
Thank you. That's
It's all
exactly what it is.
Oh, it's so natural. Like I said, they don't want you to learn how to do these things because, man, you can see everything they've been trying to hide.
And in fact, they just backed you up right here. A talent which is inherent to every human to some degree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. These are not special talents. These are innate abilities. And the only special talents are the people who just work at it. They build those muscles, they use it.
Exactly. And you know why it's easy for me to get into lucid dreaming?
Why?
It's normal to me. It's
Right.
I that sensation, as you said, it is a sensation of falling in thought. It's you just fall into that singleness of thought, and the next thing, anyway.
The movie screen lights up, and
it does.
Else.
You better get your popcorn, folks. But anyway,
the movie screen lights up, and you are somewhere else. It's that
we
fast.
may do a whole show dedicated to this. Yeah, we should.
Take the mystery out of it because this is literally, guys, this is what we are born to do.
Remote viewing is purely voluntary.
Yes.
If you don't believe in it, don't want to do it, if it spooks you, scares you, you won't do it. It won't happen.
Right. It's not in your resonance, and that's okay.
No, and it's fine.
It's okay.
Anyway, we may just do a whole show on that. That's kind of cool. Because in fact, while I was thinking about that, it never even occurred to me. Let me go. Here we go. There are actually, I pulled this up, how the military does it. This is a certificate that you can actually give. This is the Division of the Military Psychic Espionage Training.
Yep.
This is as real as it, and this is the thing they hide from us. You know why? Because if people, and they do it by the movies, Inception was taken from this actual CIA psyops that they do. There are companies that this is what they sell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is this not being like the Twilight Zone?
It's a top level of spying.
Yeah.
We have always had spying. This is like, espionage, all this stuff that goes back ancient. It's old. It's always about who had the prophecies, who had the visions, because it's all about remote viewing.
It is.
All the same thing. This is how we got a lot of this information, and people they're not aware of it. And it's so hidden, and it's such a natural part of us, of what we are born to do. Ooh, lucid dreamer, love it.
Yeah. This is the TR3 squad. This is deep. People, they don't realize that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I've been out there. I've been out in this place. I mean, it's amazing how you can get there.
Yep.
And it's, folks, you can do this. This is kind of the feeling that I have. I mean, for me, but there's not, I can see the bedroom when I am in a lucid state of consciousness.
Oh, see, and I can't, I fully go into my lucid state. I'm aware of my body. I can feel it.
Yeah.
I can hear everything in the room happening around me. Like if anything, a door opens, I can hear, but I don't see it. I'm fully in my visual of where I'm traveling to. It's like, I don't ever look back.
No, I mean, when I get into that first point, I know exactly my surroundings, and then you just proceed. It's
see, I pop out really fast. I don't know why. Most people do it, I think, more like you do. I guess because I've been doing it since I was a little kid. I just go real quick. I'm just like, boom, I'm there in the next reality. I don't even know when the transition is happening. It happens so quickly for me.
There you go.
Yeah, but that's just, I think, too, because like you said, when you use things from when you're a little kid.
Oh, yeah.
that part of the brain is just like a little bit more developed. And I started doing this when I was a small child. So, and it's never stopped. So I think for me, I just pop out. Sometimes it's like shocking because it's like all of a sudden I'm just somewhere. I'm like, whoa, how did I
Yeah.
get here? You know?
So you are what they would classify as wild.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
yeah,
Mhm.
wake initiated lucid dreaming. Then you have the DILD. I like that one. The dream initiated lucid stream. Now that's the one how I go in. I literally go down with a purpose, and as you can see, how each one no apparent lapse in consciousness. The wake initiated lucid dream occurs when the sleeper enters REM sleep with unbroken self-awareness directly from the waking state.
Mhm.
And this is pretty cool. It's and it is true. Anything is possible there, isn't it?
You know, the last time I had accidental, like I was just somewhere and I didn't even plan on it. Ended up at Windsor's Castle.
How cool is that?
Oh, it was really cool.
Yeah.
I was doing espionage work. I was listening in their conversation and I didn't even know how it got there, why or nothing. I didn't even know none of that. I was just like, whoa. Yeah, pretty interesting that was. And then, you know what? Queen noticed me. And I knew that she noticed me. And I don't know how I knew that she noticed me. And I knew to get the heck out of there immediately.
I'm seeing the scene in Alice in Wonderland, the one with Tim Burton. You know, off with her head, off with her
Oh
head.
my God. Yeah, it was like literally like she sensed my presence. She sensed me.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, and I was behind this big marble column thing. So I thought I was guarded and nope, she still picked up. And wow, it was an interesting conversation too that I was hearing.
I bet it was. You'll
Oh,
probably be getting a visit. This is what the military does in training remote viewers to enter into states of lucidness. This is, it's an amazing science
yeah.
how they have mastered this. And they say that the people that are trained, particularly with the military, they go on into private corporations for just that purpose.
Yes. You know, it's so funny they keep using the word Stargate.
Yes, they do.
And I have always known that we are Stargates.
And it's very obvious that we are.
Yeah, we come
Yeah.
through the Stargate of our mother into this incarnation.
Mm-hmm.
She's literally in, that's
Yeah.
another Stargate. We have multiple Stargate options within the human body.
I think that that's what I don't know. Again, we're focusing in, on the events here that they've repressed us.
Oh, yes, they had to. I think
Yeah,
that's why
yeah,
they like put
exactly.
Adam to sleep because when he woke up and named everything, they were like, oh shit.
So
I keep seeing, Wayne, that, you know, when they said that Adam wouldn't rise and then they blew the breath into his nostrils, we got the spirit back. I think when they created human beings, like they were made to be slaves, and for whatever reason, the divine feminine tricked them. It was payback, I think, for what happened to Lilith.
well, if there's any gal who's going to get a payback, it would be
But I
Lilith.
think, and I
Yes.
think the divine feminine brought back the spirit, the father that was missing from the original creation. And I think that's why we woke and we became the second Adam, which is we have spirit in us now. I don't think we had the spirit in us before that. And that's why when that Adam woke, it was really smart and it knew things it shouldn't. And I think they put us to sleep and altered us again to dumb us down because what had been created was basically they knew the end. And I think that's when we absolutely start to see all the death and the murdering of the sons and all this weird stuff in the Yahweh, Jehovah,
Yeah,
Old
that whole
Testament.
construct. Yeah,
Yeah, it was like the
yeah.
fear of this Christ being coming into the construct. And they didn't realize it. It was already done with that when they breathed in the nostrils and the spirit got transferred from God back into man.
And this is why I think it's so pertinent now in this discussion right now at this time, Because I believe that the trained people at the Farsight Institute, they have a good track record. They really do. And I believe, that they're using the same techniques the CIA has perfected.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we've now have, I think there's, what was there, 2 or 3 remote viewers that had confirmation on this memory extraction that they saw, this soul recycling centers is literally what they said. That the people are, it's the definition of what I think would be called physical hell.
That's what I've seen too.
Yeah. The question becomes, and even with the Farsight Institute, if you go and watch their movie, is, well, then how do we prepare ourselves? How do we come and combat this? Because here's the challenge, Trina. The challenge is, it's not that we could not affect a change, I think. It's the fact that it's an individual death process.
Yes.
I mean, we don't go hand in hand. Well, and we've seen what was it when Hellbop came through, the group in San Diego, no, that's not the way to do this. And that's a project that I think that this community, with experienced lucid dreamers and those who understand and practice astral projection, is there a place that we can go to, Trina, to begin to? Okay, good. Let's talk about that.
This is so weird because, the very first ever live stream I did was with Ultraviolet Flame. And we decided to try to meet on the purple planet. And we did it.
Okay. All right.
And I think this purple planet might be the crown chakra of the universe. And I think that it's in the eternal realms. It's in the unseen realms. So it would not be of matter. It's in the higher dimensions. So this purple planet, we met there, and I created a healing and a training sanctuary, and we have permission. All the humans who wish to learn, evolve, and get free from the matrix have permission to go to this sacred temple.
Okay.
Yeah. We literally saw each other there.
Well, it's something that it has to be trained, because when we make statements like that, people who have never even attempted, and here's my concern, is that they become frustrated.
Yeah, and that's just the thing is you just got to trust, faith, trust, and pixie dust. You got to go back to your childlike qualities, and your imagination is the key.
Well, and that has been proven that the imagination is key.
It is the key. It's the king. It's the key. It opens all the doors. It will truly set you free.
So the question then, as I see this, is, okay, let's say that there are sanctuaries.
Yes.
All right. So, and this is where I'm going to get technical about this, because this is something that if we frame it into words, when I was a practicing Christian, I was a motivator of faith. I believed in faith. Faith was everything.
Yeah.
And Habakkuk 2:3 was one that I penned many times, and it says, "Write the vision down, and though it tarry, it shall yet come to pass." So the question becomes, at that moment of death, is it possible, Trina, to circumvent at that moment that mentally I am falling into my consciousness, I know that death is inevitable, and begin to put ourselves into a lucid state of consciousness to make the transition?
Yes, I think so. I think this is why we came, and we're going to do something that's never been done before. We're literally breaking God's spell of matter and returning back to the eternal constructs. And like you said, once you go back, I don't think we can ever come back down.
Oh, no.
Gift. I think that's the gift, is you get out of death. You get to leave death.
We literally are a virus.
Yes, I've been told that so many ways.
We are literally a virus.
And that's another thing too, y'all. This big virus thing going around. We are a virus. There's nothing that this construct can have that can take you down other than your own belief in it. So
And the coronavirus, there's many different variations of it's been around. It's not nothing new.
yeah, all it is a virus, and we are a virus. So we can replicate and heal and cure anything. And think about the omnipotence of what you are. You are omnipotent, and part of that is all healing. So become omnipotent. Anything you see, touch, hear, or feel will now be bathed in healing, because omnipotence is our gift.
So you just hit that, because we're omnipresent.
Yes, and
We
potent.
are. It's
Yes.
it's bizarre. I mean, it really is. You know,
I know
it's
when
like,
you see it, you're like, wow.
I mean, you do buzz on it. I mean, that's the thing. You feel yourself. It's like, you know, I didn't have a body, but I'm vibrating. You know.
Yes. And the buzz when you come back from that nap wipes you out. Woo.
You know where
High vibrations.
it hits me all on the cranial part. I mean, my
That
brain.
makes sense, because you've just been into the crown chakras, the higher mind. And when you come out, your head is drained because of that vibration. It's like, yeah.
It's physical. Yeah, it's physical.
But then you'll find the more you start to do it, the easier it becomes.
Yeah.
It doesn't wipe you out so bad.
Well, it was far out. I mean, the thing about it is this feeling, and you know it when you've experienced it. For myself, it settled all the way down, all the way in to my groin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was.
Bring it all the way to your feet and anchor it into earth. Bring that into earth and give it to her so she can give it to her children. We need to recycling antennas right now. So when you get those divine,
I like that term.
Yeah, get
It's so divine,
true. You know, vibrations and all that. You know how that charge is just so big in the body. Give it to the earth, because they're telling me if we don't give this to Gaia, it can short circuit us. So after you experience these things, you need to go and ground and give all that frequency to Gaia. She'll give it to wherever it needs to go. And it'll be delivered in a beautiful fashion. And then you'll get hit again right away, because as soon as you dump it, you're ready for a reload.
Yeah, we need to get more people trained in this. We really do. It's I believe it's a natural defense. And if these soul recycling centers do exist, and you know, I went back, and if you look at many different religions, they give it in a point of view at that time and era with the social customs that that maybe there is this thing that the Egyptians believe, which was, you know, the Sphinx, the other world, the neither world.
Anubis and the weighing of the feather with Ma'at and all these different stories. And I think that's the Egyptians were, I think, the only ones that brought us any kind of wisdom on how to get through the underworld.
Well, I'm going to say that we can overstep that. I believe that there is a knowledge. Now, maybe the high priest back in those days knew about it. It was obviously a knowledge that has been known to humans. Mm-hmm. I mean, even when the CIA says that it's inherent to us.
It is innate. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, baby, it's a part of you.
You're born with it. Yes.
You are.
And like when I said, Wayne, when you got out and you went to that membrane, they're like, once you go past, you can't come through. You can't come back again. You're there. You like I said, you've already seen the gate, because I know it's a membrane because we're within a cell. I told you, remember, we're in a cell.
Yeah. There's that, and
membrane too. And I think we do have to get out of that membrane. But I think that membrane, to get out of that membrane, is going to be a vibrational thing.
It is. Yeah.
About gnosis and knowledge and the true desire to know thyself.
I know how it'll happen for me. It's I'll share, you know, everyone has to find out for themselves, but it is what you said. It's really it's blending into it's literally, what can I say? I know when that moment is going to arrive, you give into it.
Yeah. And remember all the selves It's like when I die, I want to go to all of my selves.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
go and I want to gather all of my selves and I want to understand the fullness of what I've been. And like you were saying, how we give our memories back, it's a gift. I think that there might be some very serious truth in that. And will you be able to give up all that you once were? It's profound, but I know that that's part of it. And that's going to be a very hard thing for many of us to do, is give up everything that we think we are in that
Yeah.
leap of faith to the journey back home.
Well, in my, what I experienced last night, you even give up your memories.
Everything.
You do. You
And
have
that's
to.
what I told you. I told them, I says, I'll kill this avatar right now, throw it on the ground and stomp on it with my spirit. And when they knew that I was serious, they're
Yeah.
like, no,
Ain't
hold
messing
the
with that
phone.
gal. Not going to do it. Not going to
That's
do
what
it.
you have to get to.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to, and that's a hard place to get to. When you really it's hard.
When I wrote, and I've read it now a couple of times, and I'm a little surprised at what I wrote. The fact of going through giving life to yourself.
Yes.
Man, that's deep. Mic drop.
It's actually you.
Yeah.
It is. It rocks you to your core. These downloads, this information is so profound. It changes your heart. It changes your vibration, Wayne.
It does.
You're vibrating higher.
Hey, man. It's like my wife says, you're going places. She says, you're beyond Star Trek. She said,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yes.
Well, folks, thank everyone in here. Big Al, be careful as you're driving. Y'all go over there and let's get Trina past 1,000. And I think Milky Way messengers now as well. And then tomorrow I have Trisha Navazetta. We're going to be talking about space. And I'm an entrepreneur by heart. I all my life. And there is this huge booming industry now associated with the privatization of space. NASA announced today, Trina, that now for a reasonable price ticket, you're going to be able to actually go up into what we would call the very lower parts of space.
Yep. I knew this was coming.
Yeah, I know it. Folks, we got to get ready.
Elon Musk, apparently he is really close to Neuralink.
Yeah, I did a whole thing on that. That's it's coming.
And I'm telling you guys, don't buy into it. The universe is within you. It's not out there. And when
if they invade you here, now granted they're already inside, but when they start putting their little tentacles, come here, my sweetie.
Yep. And I do too. I think if go into space, you're going to be entering into a new contract of citizenship, galactic. Bigger archons to eat you.
I don't
That's
think
my opinion.
I think we're going to find it a challenge. I really do. We can travel in space already. I mean, literally.
That's what I'm talking about. You can't do it in the avatar.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to let it go.
I'm going to target the ISS. I'm learning now that this was a profound initiation for myself. I know it. And someone wrote me, he is a shaman, and he said, you go into immersion therapy. I'm going to tell you, two approaches. You can go in for relaxation, but something else will be awaiting you. And, I wish you the best of success on that. But anyway, as he said, you passed the initiation. So, and then I was, well, you know what? We're doing this all together, Miss Trina.
Yeah. And when you get to see all those parts of yourselves and you understand being, what it means to be, that like it's Shakespeare, to be or not to be. This is the question. You know how to be.
Yeah. And, it's amazing when all of us have that ugly side, all of us have through just the lives that we live, even in this current life. Look
Yeah.
at how many traits you have acquired.
Yes.
Folks, that isn't you. It
No,
is you, but
it's your personality
yeah, I
that's
mean,
based upon your personal reality. Yeah.
yeah, you know,
And it drops when the body drops.
boom, baby. That's all I can
Yeah.
say.
It's just, yeah. Personality is
Uh,
only a personal reality. As soon
all
as you're done.
right.
Yeah.
Well, Trina, you want to take us out?
Oh gosh, much love to you guys. You guys are, you have no idea, but your consciousness is coming into our consciousness, and our consciousness is building a matrix of astral learning, wisdom, travel. I'm seeing you guys in my dreams. Wayne, we're seeing each other.
Yeah.
We're starting to do this. So this power and this meeting gathering place and this sanctuary, I think this might be the goal. And this might be one of the reasons that we came here, is to build the bridge, a safe bridge of transit from
I
heaven.
think so. I believe it's possible.
I do
I
too.
believe that's probably what the Christ message was really about. It wasn't about
Bingo.
religion. It
Yeah.
wasn't about a doctrine. It was about building a bridge.
Yes, and being a way shower and being the Christ,
Yeah, I mean,
which is the activation of the higher mind.
yeah, I mean, and I can get into that. I'll sign up to that all day long because
Me
we need
too.
the bridge, you know.
Me too. And I do believe this. We are the ladder. They showed me this a couple days ago. They said, you guys are building the ladder, and the ladder is going to be strong, and you will connect heaven and earth.
I believe it's possible.
I do too.
All right, Ms. Trina, stay with me. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Be good. We love you. And I won't say what Brian says, but folks, start, do the inside work. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Bye-bye, folks.